In this video, we're going to go over the new text messaging social media feature that was introduced in ThunderPOS 5.3. We're going to go through how to send a message, how to control messages getting sent, and how to purchase text credits, as this is actually a feature where you have to pay for the text messages that you send. So we have here our database we were working with in a couple of the other videos. You may recognize some of the data here. But in order to send text messages, you actually need customers who have opted into text messaging. You need to make sure you're actually asking for permission to send people texts. Depending on local laws, it can be pretty bad if you're not actually getting that permission on an individual basis. So in order to set that a customer has given you permission, just in their customer entry, we're just using me as an example here. You check the message or check the checkbox that says the customer wants text messages. And by doing that, you're indicating that the customer has at least verbally agreed to you that they want to receive texts from you. You can choose to get that written in some form if you want, but verbally is really what you need here. And then it's worth noting the number that it's going to send them text messages to will be their primary phone number. So you'll want to make sure that that is their current cell phone, or else it's not going to get to them necessarily. It's going to it can try and take it in whatever format you tend to prefer to type it in. It just looks for the first 10 digits. So if I type in like this, it's fine. If I type it in, like this, it's totally fine too. We'll go ahead and switch it over to that just to show that. So in order to actually manage your text message sending and to turn on the feature, just under activities and then social media here, you will find the texting section. So if we go under settings here, we can actually see that the particular customer I'm on has a text credit balance of 4 text credits. That means they're able to send up to 4 more text messages. That is not very many credits. As the warning here indicates, this is one text credit is basically one text message of 160 characters or less to one person. If you send longer messages than that, it gets charged based on the length. And if you send to multiple people, it's obviously multiple texts to do that. But in order to purchase text credits, it's done through the link right below there. The rates on that are subject to change, but it'll take you straight to the web page where you can buy text credits for this particular store. Credits are managed on a store-by-store basis. If you have multiple stores, then each store will have its own balance. So there's really 4 types of texts you can send. One that you can see here is a message to new text subscribers. So if you check that and fill in a message you want to send to people right below that, then as they opt into text, they'll get a welcome message from you. Usually you would include something like how they can opt out. If they send the word stop, it will automatically opt them out. That's not something you have to do. It will actually happen on the system end. Otherwise, it can also just say that this is the phone number for your store. Different customers may get texts from different phone numbers, but the same person is always going to get a text from the same number that sent it to them before. As long as they stay opted into text, all of your texts will come to them from one local number. And by local, I don't necessarily mean, actually your area code, but rather it'll be a 10-digit phone number. It's not going to be a special short code or anything. It will actually just be a regular phone number that is sending to them. So that welcome message will get sent once automatically anytime somebody signs up for a text messaging. You can send text receipts. These will happen automatically whenever somebody finishes a transaction if they're signed up for texts. We strongly recommend, if you're going to send receipts, I would recommend the summary receipts. Your itemized receipts can be quite lengthy. They may, if they're purchasing enough items, get cut off because there is actually a hard 1,600 character limit on the length of a text message, which is about, typically, depends on the the length of the item titles, but it's usually around 30 items. And you just would not be able to send them that. But the summary receipt will actually stay under 160 characters. It'll have their transaction ID and their totals and the date time, so they can use that to get a full receipt from you in person if they need it. You can also just not send receipts. Text receipts aren't like the other kinds in that if you run out of text credits and it doesn't send you or doesn't send the text out because you didn't have credit, it's not going to go back and do that for receipts, unlike the other kinds. Welcome messages and special orders, it'll retry if it needs to. For special orders, whenever you can either have it automatically sent anytime a special order or a pre-order is in stock and ready to pick up. In the case of pre-orders, it will not send it until the street date is reached. For special orders, it's just going to be whenever they have it in stock. And then you can either have it automatically do that, or you can have a screen where you can go in and manage that and just send them when you want to. That can be kind of nice if this is mostly for special orders, because if you have it automatically send, like if you get one in stock, it's going to send everybody who has that item special ordered a text alerting them that it's in stock. So typically the manual way may be better for most people. You can also just disable text related to special orders entirely. And you can actually customize the default message that it sends, either if you're automatically sending it or the default message it has in place for manually sending it. And the one that's there just tells them it's in stock and ready to pick up. You can add your store's name just in case they've forgotten what it is, or you can change this message based on what you're doing with it. So for example, if you have automatic on, you can tell them that it's in stock, but to call you just to verify, or that kind of thing. So you'll notice that's 3 of our types of text messages. That's the welcome message, the text receipt, and special orders. The other kind you can do is actually just scheduling a text to go out. That can either be based on a filter, or it can be for all of your customers who are signed up for texts. Right now, I'm the only customer who has signed up for texts, but your filter can be the full search screen that's in customers, which includes searching for things like people who have bought particular things, birth dates, people who have spent a certain amount with you, rewards members, quite a lot. So you can really filter it down, but it will always be filtered within the people who have signed up for text. So you're never going to be able to send a text to somebody who has not agreed to it. And you can just schedule that in advance for whatever time that you want it to send. So you could go ahead and schedule a text to send out like next Monday or next month or next year if you really wanted to. And it won't send until that time. You don't get charged text credits until it actually sends. Couple of other notes here. If you go into orders here, this is where if you're set to do manual, you can see the messages that are waiting. So we've got one that's ready for pickup here. If you want to tweak the message, like let's say you wanted to say something like today only on this particular one, because it was something you would sell to someone else if they didn't come to get it immediately, you can just change the message there and hit send, and it'll send that one person. If you have a bunch waiting, you can actually tweak messages down the line, and then just at the bottom hit send all, and it'll send all of them. So I'll just go ahead and send that one. It just sends it right away. I will, and we actually have just gotten a message that we got that. And then if we go under history, we'll actually see that we just sent that. History will show all of our text messages that we have sent out through this particular system. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to get going with this. The text message rates are pretty reasonable, and it can be a very powerful tool for keeping in touch with your customers, getting them to come back in by marketing to them using the schedule ones successfully, or by reminding them, of their pre-orders that are coming in. So we hope that you all will enjoy this feature. Please let us know if you have any trouble with it at support@extremepos.com. And you all have a good day.